Yeah. Yeah. I just felt like I was in a stage of depression that I had never really experienced before. Like it was a really like a dark place for me at that time. Y'all, I'm so sorry. I just realized I didn't introduce the video when I was recording earlier. So, my bad, y'all. But it's leopard legs, no need to flex, okay? Period. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about my experience with post-grad depression. And I hope to uplift others out there who may be going through it or who may have already gone through it or who may be possibly going through it in the future. I just want to uplift everybody and give some encouragement and spread a little light and sprinkle a little bit of positivity, to people who may really need it. So my bad for not introducing the video, but let's get on into it, period. So I was in college, and then when I graduated, well, all through college, I'll go back. All through college, I studied mass communications. And kind of growing up, I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do. So I kind of just figured it out like as I went. Like I tried to figure out what I was good at. And I was good at speaking. So I was like, okay, I'll probably just pursue that. And my mom was like, yeah, I think that'd probably be something you can do. Like, that would be beneficial to you. So I studied communications in college, and I had dreams of being a news anchor for like the absolute longest. And then once I graduated, I realized that kind of wasn't something that I wanted to do anymore. So I took a different route. So in me not wanting to do that anymore, I had to figure out, okay, like what's next? Because I'm graduating in like a couple weeks, like a couple months, whatever. So I need to figure out like, what am I doing with my life? So graduated from college, and I had a decent job coming out of college. It wasn't all that, but it was a decent job, or so I thought. And as I like started working with a job and my position, like the management wasn't the best management, and it was hard because I was in a position where I had to teach myself everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like their training was like them telling you, this is your position, this is what you'll be doing, figure it out. And I wasn't really used to that because in college it's like you study something, like it's kind of like you study something, you learn about it, you read about it, you get more knowledge on it, and then like, of course, like you have more time to really process stuff. In the real world, it was just like, well, in that position, it was just like, here you go. And I was really like it didn't really pay me that much. I'll say that it didn't pay that much. And it just kind of was a situation where I was just working to work, to pay bills, take care of myself. Like that's kind of what it was. And not only working that job, but working two jobs at that. So in doing that, I really felt like I was in a space where I just didn't know what I was doing with my life. It was kind of like I can't believe I went to college, got a whole degree, and then I'm working a job that doesn't even pay me enough, that now I have to work a second job to support myself. And then on top of that, I'm not happy. So that's kind of like my first kind of real experience with post-grad depression. I was really sad because it just felt like I wasn't happy. I was kind of like in a negative state in a sense. And it was just hard because it was just like you have these big hopes and dreams when you graduate college, thinking like you're going to have this job, have this career, because you studied for it for so long, and you feel like, you're ready for the real world and all that. And you get in the real world, and sometimes it isn't always like that. It's not like that for everyone. Now, some people end up in a position they want to be in, which is great for them. But for some people, you end up being in a position where it's like you don't really want to be, but for the time being, you have to do what you got to do. And I think that's something that has really stuck by me. Like, you just have to do what you got to do sometimes. Like, it's life. I just remember crying often, being sad, not really talking to people much about my problems. Like, I'm the kind of person where I just don't I don't like to do all that. I feel like, I can figure it out on my own. And that isn't always the healthiest approach. But some people are just sheltered, kind of like me. So it just kind of is what it is. But I just remember being sad and crying a lot and just feeling like a failure. Like I felt like all that hard work that I put in, it was like for no reason. Like, what was I doing in college? And then it made me think back to being a news anchor. That eventually became something that I didn't want to do anymore. It became something that I thought was still cool, but I didn't have that same spark that I had so long ago. And then I thought back to like my college experience, and I was just like, dang, like, did I waste my time going to college? Like, I was starting to think that, like, what was the point? What was the point of going to college? What was the point of paying all this money? What was the point of taking all these classes to like pursue a career that I thought was going to be mine? Like, what was really the point of even doing all that? And not only was I sad, but I began to get frustrated with myself, because I was like, what did I do that was so wrong? And I think the biggest thing that a lot of us may do is comparing ourselves to others, because when you compare yourself to others, then you welcome a whole new umbrella of negativity in your life, because their journey is going to be your journey, and your journey is their journey for a reason, because y'all aren't the same person. So I started comparing myself, and I started feeling like, what am I doing with my life? What am I supposed to be doing? What am I doing? Like, what am I supposed to be doing with my life? And I started to have real life conversations with God, because before I would just pray to say, I would pray for stuff, to happen for me. But I think when you really like start going through stuff, your prayers get even more real and real. And so I'm just not the kind of person to stay at a job for long. I feel like when it's my time to go, it's my time to go. And I'm definitely not a lazy person. I like working, I love working, but at the same time, I want to enjoy what I do. I feel like that's important. Like, it's one thing to work for a check. There's nothing wrong with that, for the time being. But eventually, like, you want to have a career. You don't want to just have a job. You want to have a career, something you're happy with, something that is fun. Like, you want to have something you enjoy, not just something you do for the heck of it. So after months and months and months of searching, I was able to find something that really was suitable for me, and it worked out in my favor. And I was actually happy with the decision compared to where I was months before with my very first job coming out of college. So it took time for me to really get back into the stage of being happy and like more positive, because it was hard. It was hard. And then you have people who you may go to for like support. Like for me, I went to my mom for support. And I'll just tell her, like, I'm not happy with my job. Like, I'm just sad. Like, it was just a lot going on that she just didn't even know. Like, I would even come home to my apartment at night and just cry. Like, it was really, really bad. Like, it was just, I was sad. I was depressed. And I didn't know exactly. I would always say, oh, that'll never be me. Post-grad depression, that don't even make sense. Like, how you depressed straight out of college, blase, 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 because I had never experienced it. And at the time, I was still in college, so I didn't even know what that meant until I got in the real world and I saw exactly like how it could really take place. And to be honest, when I was going through my post-grad depression, I didn't even realize I was in it. I just thought I was just sad. I just thought I was just sad. Like, I was just sad and things just weren't working out. Like, that's just kind of how I felt, not realizing like I'm really going through this whole process. But it really is a process though. Like, sometimes you can be in it and you don't even know that you're in it. But it just takes time, and no one's perfect. No one's going to have it all figured out when you leave college. And essentially you're young. You have time to really figure out what you want to do and what makes you happy in life. And I think that's really what your 20s is all about. Being free, learning, doing different things, and really of all things, like really learning yourself. And what do you want to do with your life? Do you want a job? Do you want a career? Do you want a 9 to 5? Do you want to be an entrepreneur? Like just figuring out what you want to do and then pursuing that. And it's stairs to success. It's not an elevator, okay? Everyone has a process they go through. Some get there faster than others. Some take a little bit more time. But at the end of the day, as long as you are intentional with what you do and you are consistent, the sky is really the limit for you. And I made this video because I wanted to encourage others to stay positive. I really didn't want this to be like a super long video. I kind of just wanted to like put it out there to uplift others and encourage others to know that you're not the only one that's going through post-grad depression. I went through it too. And it really is a process. It really is. And allow yourself to feel what you feel. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to call one of your homegirls or homeboys, do that. Like it's something that you should never feel ashamed of. You should never be embarrassed about. And it's something that a lot of people go through, even if they don't even say it. And it's something that's common. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, no one always has it figured out when you leave college. Even if you have a good paying job and you are doing good, you know what I'm saying? You still have to figure out how to adjust to this whole new position, this whole new lifestyle, because you're no longer in college. You're a grown adult working a real job into a career. So it just takes time. Don't beat up on yourself, and make sure you surround yourself with positive people. That way you can stay uplifted and positive as well.